I know you're excited that the 77th World Health Assembly is meeting on June 1st in Geneva, Switzerland. I know I look forward to that every year. I'm joking. But you knew that, but it's just not funny. On the agenda is a proposal called OneHealth. The OneHealth agenda is designed to centralize control of future pandemic-type risks. And so what they want to do is get together and agree that all the nations of the world, or all the major nations, should sign this, saying that there will be a centralized authority. So if there's another pandemic, they will tell us what to do, and they'll speak with one voice. So, if the airports are going to be closed, they're going to be closed all over the world. If you're supposed to shelter at home, you shelter at home all over the world. So I want everybody to hear this one voice and do what they say. That's bad enough, but that's not all it does. The One Health agenda considers the health of people, animals, and plants as though all three are of equal value. They're excited about it. They call it our shared environment. And so this opens the door, of course, to any kind of mandate that they want to pass down at any time about anything. And so there's this desire that these individuals have to control our lives. They have a very modern professional educational campaign. It turns out that it's a really scare campaign. They had me wondering how I could still be alive after reading their pamphlet without joining them to help me. Climate change, poverty, hunger would also become under their control. And so it's kind of a way to try and sneak in and control everything by making people afraid that they might get some kind of a disease. And obviously, we know that it'll lead to forced lockdowns and restrictions, and not just for the pandemics, but as I said, almost anything could be deemed an emergency situation in terms of the environment, or maybe not enough asparagus was grown that year, or whatever it might be, and you're just going to have to stay home. Global programs like OneHealth are not in themselves a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. I'm not saying this fulfills any prophecy. They are, however, consistent with unfulfilled prophecy in that we know that the world is headed for a global government. When you read the Revelation, you see that the government of the last days will be global under the leadership of the Antichrist. He will have global commerce that will be accessed by the mark of the beast, whatever that turns out to be. We think it has something to do with some of the modern technologies of purchasing, like palm print or that kind of thing. These are already in play. And so OneHealth, they're just another group that is aggressively pursuing this agenda towards control. Now, all of these things are a few end times predictions that we see trending in the news. And so what we do is we read the Bible, obviously. We are futurists. That means we think everything after Revelation 3 is in the future, hasn't been fulfilled already. There are people who will tell you that Revelation was fulfilled in the first century, that it is all about encouragement now for Christians because of how God dealt in the first century. But it doesn't make any sense, because Jesus in Matthew 24, he said, man, a time of trouble is coming on the whole earth like you've never imagined before. The entire world's going to be going crazy, basically. And that just didn't happen in the first century when Titus destroyed the temple at Jerusalem. It was very localized, had to do with the Jews mostly, and it didn't affect the rest of the world. So we see these things as future, and since we do, we can look at trends in the world and say, I'm expecting things to move towards globalism. That whole thing might fall apart, but it's interesting to see that the heart of man is going in the direction the Bible said it would. The most significant prophecies in the Bible are about the nation of Israel. And these are the fulfillment of actual prophecies. People say, how come we don't see any miracles today? Just look to the history of Israel and the fulfillment of these prophecies. The Bible said in Isaiah that we're studying, it said that the Jews would be born in a day as a nation, that they would return from being dispersed all over the earth, and that Jerusalem would be at the very heart of global tension until every nation stands against Israel and God has to intervene to save. Everything in the Revelation, and there are many other areas of prophecy that need to be fulfilled. And so we are most definitely seeing the stage being set for the second coming of Jesus. Jesus promised to resurrect and rapture his church, that's you and I. He promised in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, that he would come before the time of great tribulation that would come upon the whole earth. The resurrection and the rapture of the church can happen at any moment. It's presented as an imminent event. Even if I say it could happen in an hour, that's kind of not true. It could happen right now. Nothing else needs to happen before it happens. There's no other prophecies that need to be fulfilled. And we think it'll happen sometime, just a few, well, we don't know how soon before the tribulation it will start. We won't go into the tribulation, but the trib doesn't start immediately necessarily. There could be some time. But the real trigger for the starting of the Great Tribulation is that the world leader called the Antichrist in the Bible, he's going to enter into a 7-year peace agreement with the nation of Israel at some point. So that's why our attention is always on the Jews, always on Israel, because it's also a prediction that they would be back in their land in unbelief, which they are. And so Israel is a proof of prophecy. It just absolutely is. And it's the most amazing thing ever. And so we're going to be out of here. Before that happens, dead in Christ will rise first, and we which are alive and remain will be caught up to be with the Lord in the sky. Are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready and stay ready and keep looking up, because ready or not, Jesus is coming.